right, so the next day, you are able to begin your investigation. One boon you do have, because you've earned enough election points, you've been making enough social headway, you have the full support of the council. They can help point you in the right directions, and you all gain a +2 circumstance bonus on any diplomacy, intimidation, or society checks related to this investigation, because people are on your side. They want to be helpful to you. And basically, just to let you know what I'm looking at, I have a table of rumors that you can investigate using those 3 skills. You get a bonus on. There are others available, like Arcana and Occultism and Nature, because there are magical things going on. So you can tell me how you would like to proceed.
So you know what I'm doing, but we can do it Bombas. We could go down the line. His team first.
Well,
let's go role play with an NPC I've definitely written something out for.
Wait, which NPC do you want us to hit?
Well, I was wondering if we could find out some more information about Franklin with something like a society or diplomacy check around town to see if people know if he's up to some shady stuff. And then go and talk to him with, maybe that in our back pocket. So I think Bomba's going to ask around at town about that, I think.
Very good.
Do you want me to do that now? I'll use diplomacy.
Yeah, go for it. That might inform what other people are going to do.
And I can take a +2 modifier to that, you say? Yeah.
That is correct. So you get lots of information about Franklin Minneway. He's been a member of the Meravon community for a while. He inherited the factory from his parents, and he's on good terms with the Kortos Consortium, the folks who have kind of been behind a lot of the arcane innovations that you've been investigating. He's never really made problems like you've seen some of the folks who are making problems with the Orcs of Axide. So you don't have a personal grudge against him. It's just sort of like he deals with the Kortos Consortium because that's how you advance your business around here. But he has been on good terms with them. It kind of makes sense that if this was a prototype or something experimental, that sounds like his company might be the kind that they might be willing to try that out with. You kind of get the sense he might be approachable. He's definitely going to be there the next day to investigate the damage. So if you wanted to go find him, he will definitely be out in the open, you would think.
I definitely would do that when time comes.
Mm-hmm.
So with whether this is a new role or that existing role, am I able to investigate any links between Franklin and Yundarun then?
Nothing comes up. You've only heard this name a couple times. It hasn't even, I imagine you've done some research in between levels, and that name hasn't even come up in the research you've been doing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I have a proposal.
Oh.
So, my most recent class feat was the Vigilante dedication, because I've adopted a night persona. So I would like to spend my day sleeping, because last night I was busy tailing Franklin.
Oh, all right. Yeah, how does this, is there a feat for this tailing, or is that just the activity you're doing?
I would probably just try to follow them, and I have 2 invisibilities prepared, so that would probably be
all right. Very good.
Going to get caught, I would probably cast both of those on
very good
on that evening. So
yes.
What would you like me to try to do?
So let's see. So I would imagine you'd be able to find out where his residence is. Of course, he was sleeping when the accident happened. And so he gets, I imagine you kind of hightail it over to his residence. You perch all Batman-like or whatever persona you're envisioning there.
My persona
and maybe
is faceless.
very
orc
nice.
mask. So it's a distinctless orc mask. That's my whole. Anyway,
all right, so you get posed like slender orc back there, and after maybe about an hour, you do notice that a messenger arrives at his door, and he comes rushing out, hops into a carriage, and gets escorted, across town to get back to the plant. Let's see. You're able. It's late enough. You're able to follow him just fine. Let's get a stealth check just to see how well you are able to sneak along there.
Those are public, right? Or are they secret? I actually forget.
I think they're secret.
I think sneak is secret.
So there's also a few skill feats.
Yeah, that's secret.
I'm not sure if it'll.
Yeah. You would know what route they're taking, and you notice that at one point you're kind of like, prowling behind them, maybe darting between some alleys, and you do notice that the carriage suddenly takes a left turn down a side street, and then another turn, and then another turn, and another turn that all seem kind of unnecessary, and you begin to wonder if maybe they're trying to lose you.
Yeah, I think I probably will cast invisibility then and see if I can try to get them to think that they've lost me after 10 minutes and try to follow again.
Very good. Sure enough, after another minute, they divert back to the main road. They continue on. They get to the processing plant. Minneway comes out. Of course, his people are hard at work, repairing the damage, getting the doors, back up. How close are you wanting to get to him?
How much longer is my spell up? It is a 10-minute spell. I can cast it.
You said you had. Yeah, you would think you could cast it again, because it's maybe it's probably a good 20-minute drive across town, and so if you cast it halfway through, it would be running out just as you're about to get there. So you could probably cast it again, and
I will probably
overhear enough.
And try to get as close as I can, right?
Yeah. By the time you get up close enough to overhear, he is sort of relaying orders to to one of his executive assistants, and he would like to. He's dictating out a report to send to the architect, and he is requesting a meeting with the architect as soon as possible.
The architect. Do I know who the architect is?
You have heard that as a proper title before in this adventure.
The architect.
I don't remember if you got their name named. Anybody have notes they want to read off of?
I don't think we got it. We might have. I think we rolled really well, and we did. I don't trust my notes.
I have a lot of drive notes I should have read through before today. But
that's okay. Do you want to Control F and look for architect?
Let me see if I can find anything. No, unfortunately.
I'm very sad. Oh wait, I have a hat of disguise. Maybe I can.
I'm the architect.
Specific people.
Brian is the architect.
I don't think I can pull that off. That would be some next level. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you meant you, like the architect.
Let's see. What else did I emphasize? You can match the altar.
It's just a person with a name tag that says architect.
So, yeah. So, I'm gonna drop this name in chat. We've had this name.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
That I cannot pronounce, I'm afraid.
Veramachius.
Veramachius.
There you go.
They were behind the constructs, I believe.
Okay.
If that's right.
That would make sense.
And
God,
if I can't find my notes, but I may be getting confused with another game, but from what I remember, there was something that struck us as Thessalonian about them as well.
Yeah, that sounded like a Thessalonian name. That there's this huge wave of temporally displaced refugees from ancient Thassalon.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, you're kind of picking up those names as, like, the combination of syllables sounds kind of like this. And yeah, so Verimachius the Architect, you did pick up that name right at the end of your investigation of the artificial logging site that you very handily shut down in favor of the Orcs. But now it sounds like he's involved in town. And last thing you hear, the executive assistant, when Minneway says, "And get me a meeting with the architect as soon as possible," they kind of stop with their pen, look up, and say, "Is that really a good idea?"
Is that really
You know he
a good
doesn't.
idea?
You know he doesn't like to come here.
So he'll be here. Do they write down when the meeting is?
It's really a request for a meeting, so they don't have doodle polls here. So Franklin is saying, "Get me a meeting with the architect," and the executive assistant, like, you can kind of tell, like, I don't think you're supposed to use that tone with the architect, sir.
After I wake up from my very lengthy sleep in the next day, I relay all this to my friends.
Very good.
The architect.
Helen, do you have something you wanted to do?
I wonder if I can do something off the architect. Honestly, she was just gonna run around the place, but...
Yeah, do you know can you tell us anything about the architect, Danya?
Oh, okay. Well, if you don't want to do that, then I can just do mine.
Can I society anything up? Danya's traveled a little bit maybe before. I don't know.
Sure.
Given how she is, to have gotten to this part of the Isle of Corto, she had to do quite a bit of travel, because she used to be in the Impossible Lands at some point, so she would have gone through quite a few spaces to get here. So maybe she'd heard more about Verma. Maybe this name means something. So, let me blind this check. Private this check for the GM. I don't know, maybe I've heard something running around. I did not do that check correctly. Oh, well.
Now it's my turn to do Control F for Verimachius to find a DC. There we go. Let's get the old DC table up.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, you're pretty sure the name sounds Thessalonian. That sounds like you've run into enough. You've either run into enough of these temporal refugees, or like heard enough secondhand to be like, yeah, that sounds like one of these names. I imagine you've been trying to research this name ever since you ever since you first learned it, at the end of last block. I'm looking for. I thought we had a note about,
because there was a little bit of a time skip between blocks. Might have had some time.
Yeah. You've probably done some research there, so I will
had some time to maybe
there.
go to the get out of Meravon and go to the bigger settlements.
Yeah. I imagine at some point you might have gone into Diobel, which is where the Cortos Consortium is headquartered. And you did hear rumors that this somebody with the title the Architect was recently added to the Cortos Consortium's executive board. And so he's obviously not a founder of the company, because the company has existed before he got, before he showed up. But you have heard that, somebody new came onto the board, has caused a little bit of a scuffle with, like, demands and ideas, and saying, oh no, we need to take the company in this direction. It's all kind of veiled in trade secrets, but you kind of get the sense that there's been a little bit of disruption in the leadership there.
Maybe we could do some internal strife, guys. That's always fun.
Oh, discord. Like seeds.
Yes. You see, first you burn it, and then you regrow it.
Yeah, I get to
And then
use
you take
metal
the bones,
and
and then you bring it alive too. Oh, I just love the life cycle of taking it. Oh,
I get to use metal and wood metaphors now.
You guys heard about these like new planes out there?
Yes.
I'm playing that up in my other game too. Of like, what are you talking about? Oh, those do exist.
I've literally, out of character, I've ran like 4 one-shots related to it because I'm obsessed with the wood plane.
Oh.
Anyway, back in character.
Sorry.
It's so cool.
It is so
and
cool.
metal planes. I love these guys. These funky little dudes. Anyway, would I be able to try things now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna first be like, okay, so I also have this spell which I just learned, which is just really useful. Wisdom of the Winds, and I'm gonna be like,
this looks cool.
Oh.
I beseech you, spirits of the wind, please take me to the site that it would be most useful for me to speak to the metal spirits, or something.
Can Danya tag along? I just want to see this.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'll just run after you.
You receive guidance as either words of wisdom or a rustling wind that guides you to a helpful destination, whichever the spirits think will be the most beneficial.
I am first, of course, going to that lighthouse that I, of course, talked about, because that'd be like the highest in the sky, probably in the area. You know, appropriate. So, you know, at the tower.
So you're gonna cast the spell at the top of the lighthouse?
Well, I think as long as I can go within 8 hours, it's like I can get to anywhere in town, I think.
Okay.
Or
so notice
probably out of town.
So which are you using, the guiding gale or the voice of the sky? Is that a choice you make?
I think it's something you make. So it'd either be like saying like
okay.
Or like
you receive guidance as either words of spirits. So I'm trying to understand what the bullets are in this spell.
Okay, one of them is basically you lead me to a place. The other one is basically you tell me something.
Okay. Which would you rather have?
Oh, nice.
I'll let you direct what the spirits do.
I would love to follow the winds.
You'd love to follow the winds.
Maybe we could even say I bought a glider or something.
Okay, so the guiding gale, a noticeable wind flows continuously toward a destination the spirits think will be valuable for you to find. Though you can't ask for a specific destination, the spirits understand your current circumstances and urgent priorities. They won't lead you to a location you're already aware of or can currently see, unless this might lead you to a fruitful destination you've already dismissed as an option. The spell has a duration of 8 hours, or until you reach the destination, whichever comes first. When you arrive, the winds swirl in playful circles and then disperse to make it clear you're in the right place. Okay, so I think that's going to be the most useful one, because there is a place you need to go that we'll just bypass the way the adventure has you get there.
I mean, I asked if I could learn this uncommon spell. I'm using it.
Very cool. And there's no check required, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's sort of like that spell, like that omen you can get, that your deity like sends you like a sentence, or basically it's like level 4 or 5 divine. Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So this wind picks up, and Danya's going with you. Is that right?
Yeah,
I can run on the ground if you've got a glider. No, that's great. I think it's better. that way. I'm just like, there.
We can both have a glider.
No, I think this is funny.
If you want. Okay.
It's not that you need to fly on the air. It's that this wind literally pushes you along the street.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be good too. Yeah. I like the idea of a glider though, because it's fun.
So you cast this spell, and like paper and debris and stuff from the street kind of like floats ahead of you, and I imagine you're like watching it for a second, and then if you don't go after it after a few feet, it just sort of stops shaking and swirls like a waiting icon.
Yeah.
And then you go forward, and then it begins to swirl ahead. It leads you.
Perfect.
It leads you. Where is everybody staying during this? Do you just have lodging up here at the front? That's kind of the main residential area.
I thought I lived in Axside.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's say you started. They have the whole impetus for the adventure.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Well, that leads you through the makeshift gate that they've opened up here by now, down along the front,
So
and across the Wood Giant's Bridge.
Oh yeah, always fun to go there.
You get led across the yard here, and finally across. What is that bridge called? Since we have this wonderful gazetteer, 13 is the Aeon Bridge. It leads you across the Aeon Bridge, and finally into this Dusk Side. I don't think we've done much on Dusk Side yet. This is kind of the oldest area of Meravon, so it's kind of the historical, artsy, preserved district. Some major businesses are still there, but it's kind of like the district that used to be great. And one of the reasons it is still there is because it leads to the old Aeon Towers. That are off to the west on the Isle of Kortos. Of course, that road's become overgrown since the Aeon Towers went dark a few years ago. But you do eventually get led.
Extinction Curse.
What's that?
That's Extinction Curse, right?
That's Extinction Curse, yes. You do eventually get led to this site, number 18. And the wind kind of comes around here, and then when you arrive, the winds swirl in playful circles and then disperse to make it clear you're in the right place. So this site is called the Old Aeon Library. It used to be the biggest library in town. Now there's more elsewhere in Meravon, but it is now the joint site of the local Pathfinder Lodge and the Arcanumirium Meravon Extension Campus. So the Arcanumirium is this big magical school in Absalom. They set up an extension campus here to sort of help with the growth of the forest. Since that kind of gets into primal magic in addition to arcane magic, it's been nicknamed the Primamirium. But that's not the official name. That's just the name on the street is the Primamirium.
Perfect. That is, I mean, would I be familiar with this place? Because a mixture of primal and arcane is kind of my dealio.
I imagine you've been there. You've probably helped them develop some new wizard curricula for this place, since that's allowed now.
They did not like my suggestion of the pickling, the pickling school I wanted for, fire and water. Unfortunately,
You want to do a pickling school?
Now, sorry, pickling school. Now of course, this building has two major offices, right? The Pathfinder Lodge and the Primamirium. You're not sure which office the winds were leading you to. If either, there might just be something about the place. There might be somebody here you need to talk to. The winds have just led you to this location.
Okay. I think this is a pretty good lead, so I'm going to have people who are good at talking, aka the good all party with me. So that's fun.
This is such a small school.
While Gog is sending y'all a message or returning to gather you, does Bomba or Artemis want to do anything for their investigation?
Well, is there any value in talking to Franklin at this point, do we think?
I think, if you don't mind.
Well, if we could try to find out when that meeting is, maybe we could do that.
And find out what his relationship is.
Okay, sorry. I thought you already did the investigation.
That's kind of what I thought too, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Oh no. So Tony tailed him at night, and so this was if they wanted to go talk directly to him, they could have that conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Totally fine. You're both investigating different ends of the same thing.
Makes sense.
Okay. Do you want to do that? Do you want to go and do that together?
Yes, I'll be the. You're the sweet, and I'm the stand there and look judgy person.
I'm not so sure about that.
Why do we
actually?
You be the cop, and I'll just be the vigilante criminal. I can show up in like costume, I guess, and then you could be like, I can hold him back, but not for long. Like I can try to be like,
okay,
I'm a.
It's Commissioner Gordon Batman.
Yeah, there
maybe.
you go.
I don't know.
Okay. let's go find him then. Can we find him on the job site? Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine he would be there the next day, and so whenever Artemis is done sleeping off the night investigation, you can arrive there the next day. He is he's actually got his sleeves rolled up, is pitching in here and there. Seems to be like willing to get his hands at least a little bit dirty. But yeah, you can tell there's still work being done. There's still repairs being made. And as you arrive, he is inside investigating the wreckage of this material.
Okay. So I'm going to approach him and say, well, it was a real mess here last night. Franklin, isn't it? My name's Bomber. You may have heard of us, where we sort of dealt with a small problem here. I wonder if you could tell us more about what happened.
Oh, yes, I heard about the heroes who stepped in. Thank you for that. Yes, we'll be repairing this for a few weeks, it looks like, until we get replacement supplies. If there's anything I can do to express our gratitude, I don't know what your lumber needs are, but certainly don't hesitate to ask me anything.
It's interesting you should say that. Well, I'm curious about these machines. This one obviously played a bit of havoc last night. I mean, have you been having any difficulties with them? I understand this one was installed only recently.
Well, the new equipment is, of course, proprietary, as you understand. We're in quite the competitive field here in Meravon, but suffice it to say, we're investigating, and we'll be cooperating with any local regulations, I can assure you.
A lot of people could have been hurt last night. I think there's something that you're not telling us about these machines. I appreciate their proprietary nature, but lives are at stake.
I certainly respect that. I'm making sure to cover any medical needs for any injuries. But to tell you the truth, I didn't build the new pump. I didn't enchant it. I'm personally waiting to find out more about the malfunction myself.
And how do you propose to do that? Is there some sort of expert that you're calling in?
Let's see. That sounds like a diplomacy check to me.
Are these blind? I can never remember.
Really, it depends on what the action is. But let's call this make an impression. I feel like diplomacy is the one skill where I ignore the actions the most and just say make a check. Yeah. Make an impression is not secret, so let's not make this one secret.
Okay, let's see. Not great.
I try to aid.
24.
Let's see if we get that aid in.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I want to say.
Can we have remastered aid?
What is remastered aid?
They lowered the DC to 15.
DC 15, right?
You lower the DC, but then it goes up. Yeah, DC 15. Yeah, let's do remastered aid. I like the remastered aid.
I'm fine.
Am I allowed to lie? Because if so, then I only fail on a 1. So like my aid would be to be like, yes, we'd like to hear it from you first. Like we already know. Like we have hidden. Like basically.
Okay. You want to play up
whatever he knows.
You want to play up you have more knowledge than you do? That sounds reasonable. Yeah, you can make that deception if you want. You were there, like you've done your own investigation, so that kind of makes sense. Sure. All right, cool. So he kind of, listen, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm becoming less and less pleased with this arrangement. Everyone knows I'm in business with the Quartos Consortium. Yes, I know they're not the nicest people on the island. It's business. It's not me trying to manipulate or anything. It's just, if you want to do business, you've got to be friends with the Quartos Consortium. They got me in contact with one of their newest executives, and they suggested that we install this equipment. It was a prototype, so it came in at a discount. All they asked was that I allow them to come in and inspect it once a week. Now, of course, the inspection is never done by the designer. I've only met him the one time when I traveled and I just travel all the way to Diabel. But I'm hoping to get some answers.
Well, you're not the only one, Franklin. Bomber sort of looks up at Artie and he's thinking like, it's now the time to go bad cop. You're not the only one who's looking for answers, Franklin.
Yeah, so I guess I pretend to go and get my vigilante me and be like,
costume change.
I'll walk like briefly out of frame and then come back looking different. And for some reason, this guy cannot recognize me at all, unless he rolls a very high perception check, I guess.
Where were the other elementals going?
Yeah.
Where are they? You know, like some people come in or whatever. I guess. What check would I probably try to? Would I try to pressure him with an intimidation, or I guess I could try to scare him with my knowledge of like the board, like maybe by.
Oh yeah, let's do two things. You make a society check to see if you can like throw in some detail about the board that like it sounds like you know more than you do. Meanwhile, he's gonna roll deception or roll perception against your deception.
Sure.
Let's see. So I need to get your deception DC. Go ahead, throw out that society check.
I did. It is in chat. I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. There it is. Sorry. Yeah. No. You're fine. We rolled at the same time. So, yeah. You're able to throw in like, oh, was it so and so? I mean, you could even throw in the architect if you wanted to at this point.
Please. Yeah. No. I want to know.
Oh,
I want to
no.
drop
Very.
the architect like it's the.
I don't want to feed you lines, but if it were me, I would totally say, and which board member architected this plan?
Oh.
Yeah, like a true like lay it in real thick. Architected the plan. Very very heavy.
You know, architected isn't a real word.
If anybody's looking for a good sci-fi series, the Final Architecture is very good.
Oh, what's it? Tell me afterwards. I don't want to.
Yeah, so just to reveal this and how I'm going to rule this. This is totally not in the rules, but it's clever. It's nice to do things on the spot. So he succeeded against your deception DC, but I'm going to say you distracted him so successfully that it downgrades it, and he's not able to notice who your vigilante persona is.
Flustered.
Just because otherwise we don't want to.
He's so high. He must be super smart.
Okay.
So he says, okay, look, I'm hoping to get a meeting with the architect soon. I'm hoping to get some answers, find out what went wrong, how this machine actually works.
Where is he?
I can tell that you're trying to help, and I can tell that, and you've already helped my people. So listen, after I have the meeting with him, because I'm gonna get my meeting, what if I follow up with you? Tell you anything I can.
I'm sorry, Franklin, no deal. You don't know what's wrong with these machines, and neither do I, but I can tell you one thing that was wrong with them, and that is that there was an elemental infesting it. Now, this isn't the first time we've heard of the architect. His constructs are also laced with foul magics. Now, you better tell us everything you know about this person, and we want to be there at the meeting.
Look, that's literally it. I that's what I know. He gave me a demonstration. I knew there was something in there. I had no idea there was an elemental trapped. Are elementals even sentient? Why are we worried about this?
I'm not there.
A wise man doesn't just let a serpent into his home. What did this cost you? Was it just your conscience?
Okay, look. All right, now let's get an intimidation check. Let's see if we can get you in this meeting.
I'm not sure Bomba's even tried an intimidate. I think Bomba's upset.
Bomba's very intimidating.
Okay, that'll do. Okay, fine. Look, you and your friends, I'll figure out a way to get you at the meeting. Maybe we can get you hidden like behind a wall or something. I don't know. We will get you at the meeting. I have to actually get on his calendar. He's not exactly the type of person you just go and see.
What would make him want to see you sooner?
Uh-oh.
I've put in my request.
Oh.
It takes a couple days to get down to Diabel. I will send for you as soon as I know.
I'm sensing sabotage.
Yeah, maybe something else will go wrong with one of the architect's machines.
Look, this was the only one I have. If you know of any others in town, by all means, please go investigate.
And make
Where
sure
did you
they're
say
my
this message was being
competitors.
sent?
What's that?
Diabel?
Diabel.
How far is that?
Yeah, Diabel is the Cortos Consortium headquarters. It's to the southwest. I want to say it's like a couple days away.
Yeah.
Let's go to the interactive map of Galarian. Oh, I'm looking at Lake Incarthen, not the Inner Sea. Goodness gracious, talk about misconception. Oh, okay, yeah. Diabel is farther than that. So Meravon to Otari, I think, is like 2 days. So it's probably like 4 days to Diabel. Although there's a river, you could take the river down.
Well, so that means if 4 days for the message to get there, 4 days back at the earliest. So it's going to be quite some time before the architect shows up, we think.
Unless they have a means of faster communication.
Yeah.
Those little tablet.
Look, yeah. Look. If he's got a faster way of contacting me, great. But I don't have a fast way of contacting him, right? If he's got the means of sending me a message, then I can't initiate it.
All right, Franklin. Listen, this isn't the last you've heard of this or seen of us. That thing, it could have caused untold damage. You understand that? Whatever deal you have with the consortium, you should rethink it, because the very best outcome that could have happened here is that you lose your business. The worst is that people lose their lives. Now, I want you to think on that for the next time that we speak.
All right. Look, we will speak again, I'm sure, shortly after your game master plans out this meeting with the architect. We can totally do that.
Okay, let's meet up with everybody else then, shall we?